Welcome all wrists, and welcome to another comparison. Here we have two very popular offerings from Tudor, the Black Bay 58 Black and the Black Bay 58 Blue. It's no doubt that the black is the more iconic timepiece, and it's the watch that really put Tudor back on the map. The blue was a great follow-up, and the two timepieces reflect more than just colour options. Both have the same architecture with differing colour choices, and that's what I'll be focusing on in this comparison. Let's first take a look at their colour palette. The 58 Blue has a greyish hue that gives it a subtle touch and keeps it under the radar, while the 58 Black has a classic black on black combination that you can't really go wrong with. When thinking about a watch's colour choice and how it plays into everyday life, one would assume the black on black would automatically fit the bill. However, the blue variant is quite the versatile timepiece, thanks to its unique shade of blue, but also due to its neutral accents, and it's these that present the most differentiating feature between the two watches, in my opinion. When looking at the black or blue in isolation, the colours are quite neutral, but the way the hands, indices and bezel markings are executed really change the way each watch is presented. The 58 Blue is done in a more traditional sense with its polished indices and hands and silver bezel markings matching the tone of the case, while the 58 Black introduces gilt accents which give it an interesting pop. The silver coloured accents in combination with the blue give the 58 Blue a cool tone, which works well in many situations and leans towards the casual side. The 58 Black, on the other hand, has a warmth to it thanks to its gilt framing and patina on the lume, giving it a more serious tone and feels more formal. The 58 Blue plays into its role as a dive watch with its no-nonsense styling, while the 58 Black focuses on being more of a timepiece you appreciate. When we look at how each watch reacts to different lighting situations, the black is the more consistent option, which is kind of expected from a black dial. The blue, on the other hand, can take on a brighter or darker look depending on where you take it, which gives it a more dynamic feeling, but the blue can be lost, looking dull and grey in the shade or low light settings. One thing I want to point out is the bezel colour. While they both follow the same colour choice on their dials, there is a slight variation when it comes to the blue. The blue bezel isn't quite a one-to-one colour match, and it's noticeable especially when there isn't much light. It will tend to look brighter than the dial, and this could be something to consider when making your decision. The black, however, matches well, which isn't a surprise given its colour and shade. I feel like Tudor did a great job on both watches here, and their choices of material and colour really help to highlight the main features of each watch. The blue on the blue version is able to come to the forefront because it's the only point of colour without any other distractions and feels cohesive with its components. The black on the black version, on the other hand, isn't really the main draw and instead acts as a great contrasting canvas for its gilt and red triangle to play off, to show off its finer details. To me, the 58 Blue is the more subtle choice. There aren't really any standout features on the watch besides its blue combination, and even then, it's not a very vibrant blue. The black, on the other hand, has a bunch of detail with its gilt and red triangle, which really gives it a lot of character. These two watches present similar yet contrasting themes, where the 58 Blue has a more modern take with its silver tone, while the 58 Black emphasizes its heritage and vintage styling. Side by side, they truly offer different takes on the same watch, and you can get a sense of how a few changes can play a major role in the perception of the watch. The blue feels more in line with an everyday watch, one that can be worn with everything and doesn't stand out. It keeps a low profile and maintains the fantastic architecture of the 58 line while fitting in with the modern world. The black can be worn every day, and for most, it fits in as a daily piece, but it's not as subtle, which can be surprising for some given its black on black combination. It's definitely more Tudor-esque, harking back to times past, and to me, is a more interesting timepiece to look at. If I were to recommend one, it would be the black. It's the more unique timepiece, and its incorporation of gilt really just helps to tie in the whole watch as a package when you consider the faux rivet bracelet. It's the poster boy of Tudor, and when you put the two side by side, it can make the blue feel a little empty. You lose a lot of the character that comes from the black, and it just doesn't have that special flair that the 58 Black has. Now, the blue is by no means an inferior watch, and it could make sense to go for the blue over the black depending on your collection or situation. While the black is the more popular option, the blue will be seen less often in the wild, and I personally find it works better as a daily watch given its overall composition. The blue version is simple and crisp and will age well over time, while the black version can be distracting at times with its added detail, so the blue has a slight edge in legibility. All in all, you can't really go wrong with either. They're both amazing looking watches, and I'm a fan of both of them. I like how Tudor didn't just do a simple color change from one to the other. Instead, they demonstrated the impact of subtle changes, and together, these two watches could live in a single collection, given their differences. Which version of the Black Bay 58 do you prefer? Let me know your thoughts in the comments and what you think about each watch. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more watch content. I'll see you in the next one.